So now we will be making daisies. You have materials for 4 daisies in the posy kit. The length of each paper for the daisies is 19 cm by 4 centimeters. For the center it is 18 cm by 3 cm, and the base of the daisies is 4 cm by 3 cm. So let's begin with the center first. So once you have this paper, you can stretch it, turn it from the center, fold it from the center and press it. Fold and press, fold and press across the whole length of paper. You have to remember that in all the flowers, even the centers, you have to have the grain of the paper vertical. Grain are the lines that you see. These are called the grains. So for each of the flower, leaves, etc., leaves you have to have slanting grains, whereas for the remaining parts of the flower, it should be vertical. It should not be horizontal. It should be vertical for all. So this has vertical grains and you are folding it like this. Fold it into half and again into another half. So once the folded edge, the one that is folded, not the open edge, the folded edge, you have to fringe it. This is the center of the daisies. Okay, so the fringe is ready. So when you open it, it will look like this. One side is fringed, one side is open. So the open side, you have to make a loop using the small wire that you have inside your kit. You make a loop same way as you did in the other flowers, the carnation and poppy. Right, so just press it gently. This is so that the paper will not, or the flower will not slide off. Once you do this, just put a line of glue to one edge and then start rolling it around to make the round center. You have to be careful that you're pressing the bottom and allowing the upper end to be away from the center. So you get a shape which is not cylindrical, but it is conical shape. Turn the wire as you are making this, and right, so this is how it will look once it is done. Press the bottom, open up the top. Then chop off the bottom, because you don't need this thick bottom, you want it thinner. So you have to give it a shape. Usually you have to allow it to dry so that the shape doesn't spoil. So once you get this, let it dry and we will make the petals for the daisy. The white strip you have to fold into half. First fold into half, fold it again, and then you can use a clip to hold on to it so that the shape remains. You have to cut only until 3/4, little more than 3/4. Just leave less than half centimeter of gap from the end. So cut it until this much. Okay, don't cut it across, otherwise your paper will tear across and you won't have petals. Stop. So make several cuts on the side. It is okay if you don't have exactly equal, because in nature also they don't have exactly same petals, right? Some petals are large, some are small for the same flower also. Now give this a round shape. It is easier to shape one side first. So normally what I do is I shape all the right hand side petals first. Cut it until the same place where you had cut it earlier. Okay, so once you get one side is done, you can cut the other side. The centers, you can cut it out separately. Right, so once you get this shape, you can open it and start stretching the petals. Start stretching the petals from the top, and then you can just press it in the center with your nails to give it a shape. If you don't want very pointed petals, you can just round it off a bit. There are many types of daisies. So some daisies have very pointed petals, some have round. Gently stretch it from the top and then press it from the center. That's it. So we are done with the petals of the daisies. If you want to keep the bottom thin, you can just cut it, but you can keep it as it is also. So this step is optional. It's not needed to cut. I like cutting this into 2 halves so that it's easier to turn it around the daisy. Put some glue at the bottom. And then take it around the base that you have created, the center. The second round, the petals should be in between the first. Should fill in the gaps. Right. Press it from below. And then repeat the step for the second. If you do not have enough time, you can tie the base. Because you don't have time to dry it up, then you can just tie the base of the daisy so that the flower petals will stay in shape. Right, so once you're done with this, cut off the extra thread. And if the bottom is thick, you can again trim it. Right. So once this part is done, you now have to cover the base of the daisy. For that, you already have a green paper in your kit. Just use it to make a small cut over here. So this is how it will look. You can keep the stretch a little bit each part. And then round it, make a round shape at the bottom. Right? So this is how it will look. It is rounded. Now you can glue the part. So once you have the whole part glued, you can just paste it at the bottom. Just try and cover the thread. Cut off the excess part paper and then press it from the bottom like this. You can press it gently from the bottom. Turn it so that the paper sticks firmly to the base. So this is how it will look at the bottom. You can chop off the if it is quite thick, then remove it, or you can just to give it a shape, right? Use your floral tape to tape the bottom until the end. So once you have all the 4 daisies made, I'll show you how to connect them to a single stalk. So you have a long stalk also in the kit. Hold on the daisy at a little above, like this, and start taping it around. Okay, so once you have one daisy, you can put the other one slightly below the first one, and again turn. Stretch the tape while you are turning so that it is firmly glued. The next one, put it a little bit lower, and you can also put it both sides if you want. It can be like this also, or it can be in one row, whatever you like. You can arrange it according to your choice. Right, so now we have this beautiful single stalk of 4 daisies for our mini bouquet. So in the next step is to create leaves for the mini bouquet.